Hello and welcome to Nightmares of Future Past, episode 11 of season 2. Last we left the Intrepid heroes off. They managed to defeat a horde of zombies and figure out that the party's pet ant is drastically different than what it was when they last saw it. We have multiple heroes joining us today: Allstrike, Shiro, and Techno. So let's get into the thick of it because the other heroes will join once they are able to. So, what shenanigans do you trio wish to attempt to get into? Did you hear me?
We can. I don't know. Whatever you. I'm cool for anything.
Uh, because other than checking in on people, there's really not terribly too much you guys can obviously do at the moment.
You guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that I got a phone call that came in and it's kind of messed me up a little bit. I'm going to not reboot, but go out and come back in. All right.
All right. But
You hear me now? Oh,
yes.
okay, good.
Uh, thought I fixed that, but okay. No, but like I said, the only verified things to do would be to go and check on the other locations. Because you guys know that Star Labs is doing okay, St. Luke's Hospital not okay. Uh, the people
Um,
at
did,
Gotham Tower
did anybody?
Apartments. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I was saying, I know we visited the Gotham Tower, but in that. But did we ever go to? I mean, did anybody ever go and check the power station or the waterworks?
No, the party has never been to either of those two locations.
Okay, I know I have a note saying that we need to go there eventually.
It is a location that has yet to have the party go. And for some
Okay,
weird reason, I'm having slight connection problem. Okay, now it goes back to green. Hi Vigil.
oh, yeah, hi Vigil.
You're just in time for party decision making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, I was helping my dad clean up the shop a little bit, move a bunch of my junk around. And my grandmother fried fish fillets, so I wanted some of that. I'll have better service here in a moment.
I'm not rushing you. Um, because like I said, the party has to pick a direction. Does you guys
So did we? I know that we Um, with the tower, we know that there was over 100 people there.
Yep, you. The exact count was negative, other than more than 100. Because like I said, you guys did go there. Those people are doing okay. They're having fun with the snow.
Yeah, they were having problems with the water in it, but with the snow, they
Yeah,
probably could
like we
melt it.
covered last game, their water's not their big problem at the moment because well, the snow and ice will help that for a long while. The only
Right,
locations that the party has not checked on is Arkham Asylum, and the party already decided that they didn't want to mess with Arkham Asylum, so you can change that decision now or decide to just not mess with them. Then there is the Ellsworth building that the party hasn't actually messed with anything at all. This last time the party was there, the party was kind of blown off by the security there. And it was pointed out that there's a good chance that Two-Face is there.
oh, okay.
Because that was a location you guys were told to go look at by by Mr. Freeze. Other than that, there is no immediate locations where you guys know of any other holdouts. And other than visiting any key locations you guys decide to go and visit, there's nowhere immediately you know of where you are needed. So, other than just doing random searching through the city to see if there's any thing you guys immediately need help with, you guys just gotta decide what you're gonna do and or where you're gonna go. It can be doing something at the base, running around by yourself. You don't have to go as a group if you don't want to. But you guys just got to pick something you want to do and then let me know what it is.
Okay. Um, you you said Mr. Freeze, ah,
Mr. Freeze?
that yeah, the Mr. Freeze said um that Two Face may be in that establishment that you were talking about.
Yes. In the
Is
Ellsworth
that
building.
somebody that we so do we want to go there, you guys, or do we want to go to Arkham or the other place that you guys got kicked out because of the security? I wasn't here for that.
Well, the Ellsworth building is the building that security shoot the party away from.
Okay.
The
So
only
what,
thing I don't, I'm unsure of what the major. Well, I know the major objective is to control, contain, neutralize, eliminate the insectoid problem, and resecure Gotham. But I don't know what the current goal of what y'all are trying to do is because I, I was just here to find my brother, and most likely my brother's dead. So there's
If I find the body, I find the body. If I don't, I don't. So it's, I'm just here for the ride now.
Okay.
If y'all need, if y'all need my help, I'm here. If you need me to go check in on an area, just kind of scout it out, check it out, I can do that. But I mean, I need to know. I don't have enough information to go off of like what y'all are trying to achieve or get accomplished at this point in time.
Okay. Well, like you said, the neutralization and all that. I mean, we have no idea about what's going on at Arkham, which is the place for where the criminal, a lot of the criminals in our area are in. And that one of the things we were trying to do is to get the cities back to being self-sufficient, but I think that's going to take longer than anything.
Well, the main goal was just
I
to
did
make it
not.
safe for the people who live, who are still here, so that way they can eventually try to get stuff working. Because you guys don't have the exact skill set needed to technically fix every little thing, because
Right.
you need people repairing power lines, maintaining any power stations that power plants and stuff that may or may not be still working. You need people to fix the plumbing problems, which everything being in the Ice Age kind of made that temporary worse. So it's just mainly making sure that people can actually do stuff, which you guys technically have officially done. Because the only actual ants you guys can verify that are still doing stuff is the tiny colony not too far from the hospital. And the only threat they seemed to have... the only threat they seem to be making is towards entities that bother them. Because you guys haven't seen them pop up anywhere else. Other than also part of the colony was at the fire station near there. So they, other than their cold adaptation, they haven't appeared to be any substantial threats to people, mainly because they were close to the hospital and weren't the reason why the hospital is now vacant. And the only problem you guys can tell about the larger, more hostile hive is the hotel that the vampires were using to have their be their base. The main lobby area seems to have what looks like some sort of either beehive or wasp hive, because they technically somewhat look the same. Some sort of hive-like structure in it that had buzzing coming from it. Other than that, you've seen no activity from the actual hive itself, which could imply that the cold worked on the actual main colony.
Yeah. I mean, there's still like a lot of little stuff that we can do and handle to get the populace back in those areas, just to get things up and running and going. I mean, we need to at least check in at the power station, get that cleared out so we can get folks in there to figure out what systems are down, get them, starting to repair those, get those back online, and then doing what we can to clear sections of the streets that they need cleared of whatever may be impeding them hostily. And so they can get there and do that. That way we can at least have power running to the city.
So do you guys decide to make your way to the power plant?
What do you
Listen,
think?
if you can get me to any of the power grids, I could take care of the tech work.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. You can at least maybe um, see if you can get
Take care of the
power to
major
different
power grids.
locations. Yeah.
Because if we get the main power, up and going, then it's just figuring out what's down in the grid and making sure those areas are secured for people to go out and actually do, you know, perform their duties of their job or whatever.
Yep, and it might encourage people to actually start trying to return to Gotham.
Yeah.
Because you've
Mm.
Now
technically
the
currently
question
took care of all of the big threats.
is: Arkham considered? Is that a totally self-sufficient island? I mean, I've seen in. I just didn't read. I
Your
just don't
character
remember if.
has insufficient knowledge about the capabilities of that location, other than it's supposed to be the pinnacle definition of a maximum secured prison, that it's supposed to be able to even hold some of Superman's villains. Even though
Okay.
people do actually break out of there all the time.
Out of character, to my knowledge, I didn't think Gotham or Arkham Asylum was on its own island like Alcatraz. I just thought it was just a very large,
Uh,
you know high security prison that was just in the city.
Out of
no,
character. There's been
Gotham
different.
is a weirdly shaped city. Because you have part of it that is on the coast, uh, but there's also multiple islands that make up the city. There's an entire northern section, which is the roughly the same size as the middle section, and the main lower section. Arkham Asylum is its own little island with several bridges going to it, even though the bridges are not in working order because certain individuals decided that those bridges need to be down. So unless you walk over the ice, getting in and out of that island becomes a problem because you have to fly or go over the ice at the moment because normally there's strong water helping keep it there. There's a small island between the middle and lower section. At the very bottom, attached to the lower section, there is one, two, three, four, five, technically seven smaller islands to join attach onto it by bridges. And Lady Justice, Statue of Justice, which is pretty much Gotham's Statue of Liberty. It's on its own little island.
Okay. Now, when you say the bridges aren't in working order, like somebody blew the bridges up?
Pretty much, yeah. The main superstructure support that would go over the water was blown. The initial bridge that went to the mainland got destroyed by the military in the initial attempts to keep bugs from getting off of Gotham and into off of Gotham and into the mainland, which is kind of what happened to a lot of the bridges. While a lot of the smaller bridges either got taken out shortly after by people trying to segregate themselves from some of the bigger problems of the other section of Gotham, and certain party members, not saying names, deciding that blowing the bridges to help regulate where like the ants and any other monsters that may be hiding in Gotham can go was the best idea because it's technically, unless they fly and or swim at that time, they were stuck to those sections or stuck being limited to using what little bridges are still there.
Mm-hmm.
So out of all of the bridges, the just about all of them, there's that bridge is part of the same road. It's still complete in working order. Yeah, technically there's only 2 bridges that weren't demolished. There's just where other bridges should be. The only other ways to get by land travel to any of the other cities would be some of the tunnels. Because yes, there is actual tunnels that are big enough to fit vehicles through. Those are assuming to be currently sealed off by water that is frozen.
Now, is that assumed, or we have confirmation of that?
The couple of tunnels that the party went by were flooded. So the party has not
Okay.
actually checked every single one.
Okay. Now, do any of those tunnels go to Arkham Asylum?
Nope. There's
Okay.
no underground ones that go to Arkham Asylum.
Okay. Good. All right. So I think our best bet right now to at least show that like we're trying to help the city other than annihilate insectoids is getting people back power so they can feel like they have some form of normalcy to the life that they previously were living before the infestation.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And then I guess we need to get the water works up and running, or get somebody in there to get it up and running.
Well, I mean,
Right now-
waterworks, we're gonna have to wait because everything's frozen at the moment.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying.
My bad.
You know,
My fault.
And if we really want to get the waterworks working, we have to deal with the slimes that's
And
frozen
you have to
and
hope there's no
clogging
more
up.
slimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do we? That's another thing that, like, I was just told that this was to be done to help eliminate the insectoid problems. I keep hearing slimes being thrown around. Is that something that we're gonna have to like go into where they're at and extract the frozen slimes and do something with, or do they just get wiped out because they're frozen?
Well, if
I don't know nothing about slime.
the party has to, when they get in a position to search areas that could possibly have slimes, whether they're frozen or not, the party would have to pretty much go into the sewer systems of Gotham to check the sewage systems to see if they can find any slimes, frozen or not, and then decide what they're going to do about the slimes, because the cold temperature is actually in the party's favor if there is any more slimes. Does the slimes have a problem with they kind of freeze when it gets too cold.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have to worry about Gotham getting warmer when it comes to the slimes.
All right. So do we start that process now, considering we have the temperature now regulated to where it's kind of going to slowly be warming up over time now, and is not in a constant blizzard? Do we need to do that first before we get power back up and going?
Oh, that's a good.
Because I'm pretty sure people are gonna enjoy being able to use their toilets and flush them when they have power.
The only problem you're looking at when it comes to looking for any and all slimes is Gotham's sewer system is a city and it's on itself. So if there is slimes there, you're spending a large part of your time in the sewer system looking for the slimes. So it's a time heavy predicament.
Okay. I mean, Techno, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it you that came in contact with some of the slimes in the sewers at one point in time?
I mean, I was the one who froze it, and it wasn't so big, but I kind of made it big because, things happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have somewhat. I mean, we have a location of like confirmed area of where there is slime. I mean, if we can, get rid of that problem, then we can, possibly handle smaller issues when it comes to the slimes later on.
That's where the
But this
problem
is
pops up. The last known location of a verified slime is currently in Techno's slime containment unit. There's been no other confirmed locations of slimes since the party captured that one.
Yeah.
So there is a very good chance we don't have to worry about slimes anymore. Unless that one gets free.
What is Captain Sewage?
Where is he?
Yeah, where is he at?
He's at the base, just like everyone else.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now, what does he think about the issues that we have going on? Is there any particular one he thinks is more important or more higher priority?
Well,
right
he
now,
agrees with you guys on figuring out if you guys can get power back on or not, and then potentially fixing any problems that are there to at least a degree that makes it possible for the civilian life to actually try to normalize and fix it. But at the moment, there is no current location or task where the party is absolutely positively needed. It's all where the party exactly wants to go.
well, I think maybe we should take at least get the layout of the power plant in the sense of what needs to be done. If it's just the grid system that needs to be worked on, or if it's the power plant itself. What do you guys think?
I'm saying, I say the power station, go there. Does the party know anyone that has worked at the power station that is like held up somewhere else other than the power station? Do we know if there's people at the power station?
No, we
Nothing.
Any of the the party has never been to the power plant nor any of the power relay stations at all, and the party doesn't know in the current holdouts if there's anyone capable of operating them in those holdouts. So it's a go there and see what's there scenario.
Okay, yeah, I think that's our best bet is to just get there, figure out what the fuck's going on, and
Yeah.
try and fix it. Techno, you need me to carry anything? You got everything? Like, what do you think you might need tool wise when we get there,
Yeah.
in case
Yeah.
you need something? Because I mean, I can't fly, but I could carry as much as I can if needed.
I don't think I need to.
He has the tools he needs.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
just have to get there. So to confirm, you guys
Alrighty,
headed
well.
to the power plant, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So are you and is Virgil and Shiro gonna um, take their bike?
Hell no, I'm not taking
You
my
guys
bike.
have
It's
to.
cold as fuck outside.
You guys have to fly to get there.
Okay.
And I don't know this NPC Virgil that you were just talking about is.
It's Vigil.
Oh, Vigil. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't take you guys terribly too long to get to the power plant. You guys can, from what you can currently see, besides the fact there's snow and ice all over the place, there appears to be no outer signs of power being on. You can see that there is remnant locations of National Guard equipment, such as a few barricades and some frozen over vehicles. But you currently do not actually see any obviously living people.
Mhm.
The vehicle you said the vehicles are they?
Frozen over.
Can we tell whether or not? Huh?
Frozen
They're
over.
frozen over, so they're
Yeah,
okay.
they're not going to be any use. They're just plus they're military vehicles. They suck.
They're not geared for the temperature at which they suffered.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was just thinking if they were available or if they were usable, then that would be a means for us to be able to
No, the
get people
amount of
back and
work they would
forth.
need is a lot, and you guys do not have the spare equipment to replace and or actually proper repair any of those vehicles.
Okay, that's fine. That
Because
answers the question.
rapid freezing has a tendency to scuttle things that aren't meant to be in that cold of temperature to begin with. It's also technically
So,
National Guard. They don't actually get the best equipment.
no, yeah, you said National Guard. I was thinking something. I was thinking,
I actually know some
okay,
people in
well,
National Guard, and they don't actually like a lot of their equipment because it's not as good as what they had when they were actually in service.
yeah, it's hand-me-downs,
Pretty much.
basically.
Um, but like I said, there's no you don't notice any form of actual movement or anything. You guys are free to
Uh,
approach the facility.
okay. Is there a problem with me turning on the radar to see if there's anything coming around us? Because I know that the ants are attracted to my radar.
Where you don't see any signs of ants, so unless they magically materialize out of thin air, you can assume that there's nothing that will be alerted to your presence via your radar.
Okay. I'm going to turn that on and see if I can notice if there's anything moving around us or near us, and then I'm going to switch to infrared uh, after I've done a good sweep with that to see if there's any heat signatures in the building or
There is nothing
anywhere else.
popping up. Radar's not indicating
Okay.
anything, and everything looks cold. Real cold.
Okay.
So if there's something there, it's not
All right.
poison heat.
Okay. Is the did we find the main entrance into the power plant?
You, like I said, it's because you guys are flying in. You have a direct approach to it.
Okay.
Do you guys fly into the door? Not like literally into it, but fly to the door.
Yeah, fly to the main door and then check to see if we can get it open.
It is appears to be barred from the other side.
Okay. How do we want to go about this, guys? Do we want to force our way in at this point? Or whatever, there seems to be no indication from my radar and infrared of anybody around. I think I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is up to you guys on how you guys want to enter in.
All right.
How do you guys get through this barred door?
Do we see any other like doors or windows that are around this?
There is there is windows. It's mainly on the second and third story of the power plant, not the ground floor. If you run around and look, you can find other doors. Because there besides the main entrance, power plants do have other entrances into them. Uh, Not any less secured, but there are multiple other doors. It's just this is the main entrance instead of like a back entrance or a maintenance entrance.
I think our best bet would try and find another way in. Worst case scenario, we bust our way in, but we don't know if there's. I mean, you say you got no hits on anything in there, but if there's something in there that's not giving off heat or pops up on radar because it's not moving or whatever, I don't know how none of that shit works. We don't want to let them know we are here.
So, do you guys look for a maintenance entrance or another like a side entrance?
I would think maintenance entrance.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Does you guys have the ability to circumvent the fences? Because, well, you guys have multiple flyers. Finding a maintenance entrance is easy, except for it appears to be barred from the other side.
Hello. So it's not like the door is locked. Like something is blocking the door from the inside.
Do you try to manipulate the door?
I will jiggle the handle to see if the handle is locked.
The handle is not locked.
Okay. I will gently jiggle the door. because most of the time the doors open outwards because it's an industrial building.
It does not open. You are pretty sure there is something on the other side that is actually stopping it from opening.
Okay.
I might be able to pry it open if I, get it to come out. I mean, I'm pretty strong in the suit, so.
Is there any like ventilation systems that are near this door?
That's a good question.
No, any of the ventilation systems you can see are higher up on the building.
Okay.
Well, do we want to go on top of a roof
Mhm.
and see if we could get in through that way?
I mean, I'm a brute force kind of person, but I also don't know how y'all really operate or your procedures on things. So, any insight would be helpful. What do you think, Techno? Check the roof, see if we can get in from the roof, or we just kind of force our way in.
It's a power plant. What kind of power plant does Gotham have?
You have a chance of actually knowing this. You have a mighty +10 to this die roll.
Okay.
Because you might actually know this. Because of particular problems, this power plant, besides being a huge portion of it old and outdated, it's technically has two sections. The old section, which is a coal power plant, the really old one, because Gotham's silly and stupid like that. The newer section is nuclear.
Well, that's two big differences of power.
It's Gotham. They in lore they keep changing what the power plants actually are.
So realistically, we can probably just go back to the hospital, get the biohazard suits that were there, and just go down the stacks.
Yeah.
Or we can try to break in the front door and hope for the best.
Well, I was going to say going down the stacks or the ventilation shafts. I mean,
Well,
I don't know if
I think it'd still be a good idea to get the the biohazard suits. Well, I mean, if it's a nuclear plant, they would have biohazard suits here if we can get in. I just say front door, hope for the best.
Are we at the cold section or the nuclear section? Jake, hey man.
Techno, do you look around to verify what section you're at?
Sure.
Because your expertise in science and in engineering, you're in the coal section. You're on the wrong side if you want the more modern version, or the more modern side.
Oh. Shit.
Is there any evidence that the cold section still works?
Well, you don't
or
see any smoke
has been working?
coming out of any part of it. And there's no heat sources.
They probably shut this plant down, hence why the doors are barred on this side, on this portion of the plant. And they're probably, we're probably solely running on the nuclear.
Yeah.
Say we go to that section.
Well, I was thinking if we can't get the nuclear system up, we might be able to get some power by using coal, but then we have to find resource of coal. So let's just go, like you said, to the nuclear side and see what we can find.
You guys can easily fly over there. You can easily find a maintenance door, and same thing. It appears to be barred from the other side. Except for on the outside of this door, there appears to be a frozen person.
A frozen person. Okay. Is he a security guard?
He doesn't seem to be wearing anything that indicates security.
Okay.
But he is frozen stiff.
When these guys are frozen like that, if we heat them up and try and melt the ice, do they come back? Do they come back from it, or is it they're gone?
Your character has no idea if he's a frozen popsicle man or someone in some sort of cryostasis. All you know is he's standing outside the door, frozen stiff.
Does he look like he was trying to get in the building?
Yes, he does.
For cover? Okay, so we know he was running. Well, let's see if we can fucking force our way in. Is this person like attached to the door, like he was holding on to it?
No, more like he was pounding on it to get in.
Okay. So we're gonna have to move this guy.
Yep.
I will try and gently move this guy to not break the ice.
It's not very hard.
So we have plenty of room to force our way into this building.
Yes, you do. Dun, dun, dun. Do you guys force your way through this door?
Do you think?
Can you repeat that?
I asked if before we pull this door off its hinges, do we think we should knock first, see if we can get somebody's attention, or you just want to go ahead and do the brute force method? I'm game for either way.
Bang on the door loudly.
Okay.
There is no response.
What do I hear? Cool.
Okay. Well, let's get the door. Let's get this door open. Do you need any assistance?
Well, I can tell you I'm not strong enough to open this door.
Okay. I guess I'll try it to do it.
Let me guess, you try to just rip it off rip it off?
I try to break it so that it still swings as a door.
Can I examine the door before we try breaking anything and see if I can get into it?
I was just thinking about that.
You have a perception of 10. So roll me a perception.
I don't know what my perception is.
I don't see shit.
You're pretty sure that this is the most secure door you ever have seen.
Can I tech it to get into it?
Well, that then goes into how exactly you plan on teching it to get into it, because the door is barred, not locked.
I'm assuming I have some form of a folder on me, or I can use my blaster
Don't you?
as a cutter.
I was going to ask you if you had a cutter or a torch in your thing, but
I would assume that I would have a cut. I would have a cutter
The
in my
door
bag.
covers that.
Cool. I'm gonna use it to cut the bar.
Well,
Part of the door.
well, this is barred from the other side, so getting to the bar itself is the problem.
The crack where the door is, I'm gonna just cut through there and down to cut the bar.
And then vibrate the door
Nope.
till the other part slightly slides out so you can open it.
No, I'm just gonna do it on both sides.
To make sure.
I can try.
Well, are you trying to keep the door so it's usable, or just remove the door?
Yes, I'm trying to keep the door mostly intact.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm just targeting the bar.
Roll me a d20 with a +8 to see just how precise you can make it. Yeah, after a few minutes, if you press in there, cutting, make sure you don't accidentally seal the door to itself. So kind of just cutting. You're able to hear the sounds of a bar hitting the ground. Nice clanks.
Cool.
Do you open the door?
Yeah. I'll stand in front first. That way, if somebody does fire something out, I could hopefully take the hit. Okay. Do you understand what I want to do?
Yeah.
To open,
Who
how
opens the door? That's the important question.
Okay. Who wants to open the door? Try opening the door. I can try opening the door, but then somebody's going to have to go in before me. Well, I guess not. I guess I can open it.
Who opens the door?
I'll open the door. I'll put my shield up and open the door.
Open the door.
Okay, and I prepare myself defensively, having my, my weapon and everything ready to go in.
See into part of the hallways where you can see that there is doors attached to the hallways. A thing you guys can notice is it appears to be colder in the building than outside. And you can see about 15 feet inward towards the center, you can see a frozen person that looks like they were froze while running towards the door.
No problem.
Is my
can I
still going?
Techno, what were you going to ask before I answer his?
The person to see if there's signs of liquid nitrogen used, like splashes on the ground, stuff like that.
Well, as you investigate, nothing's pinging on your radar. You see no signs of liquid nitrogen or any sort of frozen liquid. Do you see like some sort of signs on part of the ceiling and walls where there's pipes that look like they somewhat burst with ice coming out of them, kind of like the water in them rapidly froze, breaking the pipes. Uh, and the person seems to be frozen in place. And as you're investigating, the temperature is drastically colder. We're inside than outside. Because outside it's cold enough for the ice and snow to still stay ice and snow. Inside is about 20 to 25 degrees cooler.
Mm.
What level of frozen are they? Like, are they just like stiff frozen, or are they encased in ice frozen?
Almost like they were almost like they were almost turned into popsicles. There's not like a coat of ice around them. It's like everything
Frozen.
rapidly froze, and you can see on the skin, mainly where veins are, of some ice damage from the liquid in their veins rapidly freezing. And you kind of don't want to remove his
All right.
goggles.
Okay. So we probably need something for heat in here. This is awfully cold. Judging by what we're seeing here, this is not good. Do we know exactly where the point of impact was when the missiles detonated?
Nowhere near here.
Yeah, this is a big problem because
Closer to the initial detonation of the device than this building was. In the factor of you
I'm
guys
gonna
were about 2,000 feet underneath it, versus this is about 3 or 4 miles away. This Gotham is a big city, so yeah, it's thousands of feet away from the impact zone, but appears to be drastically colder.
So as we're traveling here, I want to turn my jetpack on, but not on like a flight mode. I want to put it almost like a just barely. I want to keep an orb of heat, basically. Yes.
Uh, yeah,
Do I have any problems with the cold signal?
no, because you have to remember, you are the only individual that has life support, which means your suit is
Uh,
literally making you look at the cold and flip it off.
What that would be is that if it gets
What
too
about
cold,
me?
I'm assuming his suit would still freeze up, wouldn't it?
Uh, as long as the cold technically stays as an environmental based cold, then he's good. But if something is actively freezing things, then that's a problem because it's no longer an environmental effect but a power effect. So it's kind of like the difference between Mr. Freeze going, "Hey, look, here's a blizzard," versus I shoot you with my freeze ray. The freeze ray will still freeze him. It being icy and snowy won't affect him. So unless something is actively freezing things, he's technically good.
Okay.
Because
Most of
it
the
jumps
party. I
between
mean,
environmental and non-environmental.
my jetpack should keep the rest of us warm, correct?
As long as Shuro also activates his to burn some heat, or create some heat as well, and you guys stay relatively close together, not touching, but in the same proximity, you guys can raise the ambient temperature around you enough to not actually have to worry about any severe, long-lasting things like frostbite. But you also can't be moving very fast because uh, the heat needs to be able to build up around you and stay with you instead of you just leaving it behind. But as far
I
as
am
you
going
guys
to
are,
walk directly behind Techno and Shiro, and I am just like shivering profusely, teeth chattering. It's really fucking cold in here.
uh, as you guys move deeper in and to try and investigate, you can find more frozen people. Um, some you are pretty sure are people who work here, and some do look like National Guard based on uniform and some of their equipment, and everything is you can without a doubt determine because you do also have a high science that this place was practically flash frozen.
Hmm.
And also at this
This
point,
does not look good.
the temperature around you guys starts to somewhat drop, as you can almost feel like heat being siphoned from your area. At this moment, all of you need to make perception checks. All Strike has a 5. Shuro has in its current state, a 9. Techno has, a 10. Vigil has a 9. I'm not sure what
Natural
form of
20 for 29.
Blowing the dice gods, and I'm not appreciating it.
well, you have a plus 9 Vigil, so you actually have a 34. All Strike, can you please try your math again? Because I don't know why there's a divide by 5 there.
Uh,
'Cause,
oh, I don't know. Trying to put in the right combination.
um, the the dice bot seems to have a different opinion on that. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote fairly decent. Keyboard. Let's see how that works. Lousy. I did better with the other roll, even though it
Yeah, but
divided
it was
by
an
5.
improper formula. This just shouldn't be a divide by 5, because that's weird as heck that it did that. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna
with
say
the
I basically rolled a net 1.
uh, with the exception of All Strike, as you guys are sitting there feeling the temperature shift to low, um, one of the pipes that looks burst, you can see that through some of the ice, there seems to be something moving. Almost like
You're
you can't tell if there's a tunnel or like something moved the ice in the ice that the water would become there, or if there's something actually moving through the ice. But through that broken section of this ice, you can definitely see something moving.
Shiro. You're a much better shot than me. You want to take a shot at that?
Sure, why not?
Well, he has a plus 15. You blast it, which shatters the ice. Um, as you can see, with the ice gone, the thing that's there somewhat puffs out a little bit. and it looks like some sort of weird tentacle. And once the ice is removed, a lot of the remaining ambient heat seems to rapidly drop. Almost like you can feel it being drawn towards that revealed section of the tentacle. And at this point, you can see the pipes starting to bend, and you can also hear them starting to warp. Like the pipes have something in them, and they're about ready to break.
Okay. So I prepare myself to fire at anything um breaks out of the pipes.
Well, what is it
And
you
I want
guys
to
do?
take off my. I want to take off my jetpack, and I want to quickly rig it to not give any thrust, but I'm going to turn it to maximum heat, maximum fire, and just aim it at the pipes.
Can you roll me a tech check, please, to rig it not to make you go flying off?
Absolutely.
Use that as pretty much a makeshift blowtorch. Of, dear God, you suck.
Yep.
After, while you're, this is gonna take you a moment to quickly rig it. Both Vigil and Shuro, what do you guys do?
I am just going to kind of get into a defensive, shivering posture because it's fucking cold, and kind of give Techno some cover in case that thing tries to strike out at him. It'll strike out at me and not him, for him to continue doing his nerd shit.
Nerd shit. Shuro,
Yes.
other than watching, what do you do?
I keep on standby and then use my senses to hear if there's anything coming.
Oh, that's right, you have sensing. Uh, yeah, you can hear that the pipes and stuff like they want to just burst right now.
Uh,
But around the time that you manage to get the jetpack in a position to do what you want, the pipes burst, and you see these tentacles pop out, and they do something to expand a little bit. Like they shouldn't properly fit inside the pipes. And you see the ends that someone open up to mouths filled with teeth.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Techno, what do you do with your now not a jetpack?
I'm going to go ahead and just start blowtorching it.
You turn on, boom, it's putting out lots of heat and stuff. You still feel that there's some like it wants to move you, but it's not quite moving you, and it's producing lots of heat. You can notice that as you do it, the tentacles pretty much hone in on it, and they open, and you can see the fire being drawn to the mouths, like they're absorbing the heat at a rate much faster than the heat that it can produce.
Hero?
yeah.
Shiro, buddy. Yeah, I need your jetpack, and I need somebody to take this one and continue blowtorching this thing.
I will run up and just grab kind of around the area where Techno's holding his, and kind of brace myself to keep pointing the jetpack at him, at the tentacle.
Oh, tentacles.
Go ahead and grab Shiro's jetpack and do the same thing.
Roll. Your most likely definitely gonna pass this check. Or not. Oh.
going flying.
You managed to break his jetpack.
Oh no!
And you're like, and you just hear the fuse goes, and you're like, well, that's bad because now it's not gonna work.
No.
I fire at one of the tentacles that's trying to reach out to us.
Well,
Or
here's
wherever
the funny thing:
the
are you doing the +8 or or going for accuracy with the 13?
I was going to go with the +8 at this point.
Okay, roll with the +13.
Roll with the +13.
Well, you said you're using your +8, so roll with the 13.
Okay. Total of 20.
I did not put that. It is technically not actively, deliberately rolling. Trying to dodge, but it still technically has to. But it's rolling with a +0. You hit it, and you can notice that when you shot the blaster round, which is technically a fire-based weapon, almost seems to hone in on it. And you hit it, and the wound and the energy of the blast seems to be absorbed in it. And the tentacle pretty much lashes and looks at you, opens its mouth. And can you please roll a d20 with a +6, please? This is a fortitude check.
You said a +6?
Yep.
Oh. No, a smiley face won't work.
Nope.
I hit the emoji by accident. 16.
At the moment, you can feel that a large amount of heat has been drained from you, which is temporarily giving you a -4 to everything. You can feel not only your own joints and muscles and stuff, like they're freezing from the inside out, but the suit systems seem to be freezing over as well. Like the heat that you and the suit produce just took a major drain.
Okay. My weapons have no effect on these. Communicating to all. My weapons don't have any effect on this creature because it absorbs it.
At this moment, coming from slightly deeper in the hallway, you guys can see a roughly 6-foot-long ant kind of just blunder into the wall and start heading your guys' way. It appears to have a glowing green abdomen and scissor-like mandibles. Its mandibles aren't open or anything yet, but it seems to just be cruising down your guys' way, and it seems to be somewhat just bumping into things, like it's not meant for speed or agileness. And you can
I'm not
see
okay with that.
one of the tentacle that's hit you turns back and faces the ant. What do you guys do?
I would like to jump on All Strike's back and I want to see if I can switch up his weaponry to, instead of producing a blaster with heat, to just spraying cold.
It does not have
Given
that
it is cold enough in here. Huh?
His blaster does not have that capability.
That's why I was going to the tech edit it quick if I could.
The time and resources you need to add that alternate effect, you do not have on hand. It's not a skill
Okay,
problem,
well,
it's a resource problem.
How about the sword?
oh, that's right, I have the sword. Can I try the sword? Ow, you little bastard.
Do you swing at the one of the tentacles with the sword? If so, you have a +4.
Actually, would Vigil have a higher bonus with this out of the game?
He is a more dedicated melee combatant than you are, so there is a
Cool.
hypothetical.
I'm gonna take the sword and throw it at Vigil. Here, try this.
I take the jetpack and I throw it to you as I am still holding onto it.
Why is the jetpack still on while you're throwing it?
Because he didn't turn it off.
I don't know how to use this thing.
You just threw an active jetpack at your team.
I am a dude that looks like a murder biker. And you expect me to know how a jetpack works?
Techno,
No.
can you roll me a
Throw it
D20
at your
with a
team.
+8?
And I'm cinched.
No, you're not. You managed to catch it just right without dropping it or aiming it at your face. But you need to change your clothes.
Good thing I wore the brown pants today.
Vigil, do you swing with
Do
the
I need to
sword?
roll something?
You have a
Do I
plus-
need to roll
you
something
actually
to
have a
catch the
+7.
sword? Do I have
Really?
to roll something to catch the sword first?
You have a high enough dodge that you have a 5% chance of failing. So I'm not gonna risk it. And because you do have
Okay.
melee combat training to a certain degree, you don't actually have to overstress whether or not you actually
Okay.
catch the sword or not. So you have a +7 to swinging with it. So it's not as good on accuracy with your whip, but
You want my attention.
you hit it. That I forgot that I need to do this. The tentacles are when they're actually trying to dodge, they're hard to hit, but when they actually get hit, they boom. Okay, that normally would not do anything except for the fact that you're using the mighty grass cutter. That it that tentacle. Where did I put my pencil? Not only took a point of damage, but is currently dazed, so it's listed to one action on its turn. Excuse me. You appear to
Okay, can I
cut deep.
okay, do I have to wait to attack it again?
Yeah, I'm going through the motions. Shiro, do you try to shoot one? Yes or no?
Yeah.
The one that's currently draining the heat off the jetpack, or the one that's not?
The one that keeps on draining off the heat, the jetpack.
It's because it's focused on draining the jetpack. It has no current modifiers because it's condition it's in. Oh dear God. Well, you have multi-attack, so that and the difference jumps the damage from a 20 to a 25. It's not a crit because didn't roll high enough. But also has a -5 to it, which means here's its boom. That tentacle rapidly retreats back inside the tubing because you pretty much screwed it. At this point, the ant does get close enough up, opens its scissor-like mandibles, and manages to quite easily cut off part of the tentacle, which has it flop. The part that stays flops around before it shrivels up stiff, and the other part retreats in, and the ant just stares at you guys. Before doing this weird, awkward turnaround and starts walking around. Almost like it was brought there. It came there specifically for the tentacles. And after a moment, the tentacle part that drops, you see it picks up and then does this weird chewing motion on it.
Well, Techno, you can talk to it, can't you?
I can't talk. It's not my ant.
Oh, that's true.
The area you're in is slowly starting to rapidly heat up. Almost like there's heat coming from the ant.
That's not good.
It's
That ant
great.
is most definitely. That ant is most definitely radioactive.
I was going to say, does any of my sensors go?
Walk deeper in. The heat being produced by the ant is interfering with a lot of your random equipment. On top of the fact that you still don't feel good, because like I said, you're technically
Do I happen to?
major hits
Do I?
to a lot of your stuff.
Can I
coming to
away from the ant?
knowing that we were coming to a nuclear power plant, did I happen to bring a Geiger counter with me?
Nope. Do you start searching
Or
the immediate
if you
area for one?
Yes.
I have no protection from radioactive stuff, so I'm like slowly backpedaling away from this ant.
Well, I said the ant is starting to go deeper into the building.
Okay, so it's away from me.
Yeah, so it's actually leaving. You have a +10 to that die roll to see if you can locate a Geiger counter, and you actually know what your character would actually know what one looks like.
Would I be able to help Techno look for one if he describes what this thing that he's looking for? Okay.
Yes, you can. And all you actually have to do is beat a DC 10, and you give him a bonus.
So what's my modifier?
+9. The only person.
And my DC is what?
If you beat a 10, he gets a modifier. If you beat 15, then it's a better one. Oh.
Yeah, 26. I think I helped him out pretty well.
Techno, instead of rolling with a +10, you roll with a +15. after a few minutes, you can find one, and I'm just gonna give you the tech check to fix the problems with it. Uh, do you go to the hallway where the ant was? Can you hear me, Techno?
No, I said sure. I'm gonna go down that hallway.
Using the Gaia counter, you are able to confirm that there is radiation in the hallway you spotted the ant in, and you can easily use that to follow it, well, to catch up to it, because it's A, you know it's not moving slow, and B, it's literally has a radioactive trail. Do you move deeper in to
What
find
is
the
the
ant?
rate?
Yep.
I'm gonna look to Techno. Like, do I hear this thing making noise?
Yes.
Like, yeah. I'm gonna ask him. So, what does that thing do, and what does it mean for someone like me that doesn't have what y'all have on?
So, it just means that you need to not go near it.
Okay. So, do I stay here, or do I just say like a good 40, 50 feet back behind y'all?
I would say like 2 counties over at the rate this is going.
So I'm gonna stay here then.
More ice tentacles in here, you're probably gonna be in some trouble.
I can technically give this to you, but can you please, Mighty Techno, roll me a science check with a plus 20, because you have a high science.
20?
Yep, you have a plus 20 to your expertise science. And this is you are pretty sure that the amount of radiation you're picking up and the short time you guys were around the ant, that the entire party has been exposed to low levels of radiation. Not enough to immediately kill you or disable you, but enough to potentially have cancer become a future problem.
Cool. So, how about we take a rain check on this and get some like radioactive suits, hazmat suits?
Somewhere in this building.
Let's push deeper.
Follow the ant deeper, or look for the area where they would actually keep the rat suits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the red suit.
Yeah. We'll look for red suits.
Yeah, you guys need the rat suits at this moment. Due to the I know what markers means what science guy of the group, hi Techno, thank you for being the science guy of the group. You're helping this way too well. You guys are able to reach an area where you guys can switch over from what you're currently wearing to suits that will actually stop the radiation from being a problem, as long as it doesn't go, really, really high. Which has the side effect of particular individuals not being inside the power armor anymore.
I'm not.
The coldness compromised the integrity of the suit. So if you want to be protected from the ambient environmental radiation, you need the MBA suit. MBA. Nuclear biological.
Yeah, but can I just put that over my other suit?
It won't fit.
My armor?
It's wear the armor, wear the suit. It won't fit. Does the NBC suit is not designed to be worn over power armor. So, compromised suit or NBA suit? Well, NBC suit.
Well, I think I'm going to have to stay in the armor. At least I have
Other protections?
still other protection and other
Abilities?
defensive, defensive and offensive capabilities.
But everyone
Because
else
once
puts
you
on
get out of
the
the suit,
suits here, correct?
Yep.
Doesn't take you very guys
Will
very
I be able to
long.
put
The what?
Will I be
is
able to
there
put the suit what clothes I'm wearing? Because I think I'm just still wearing like the blue jeans and the
Unlike
and
Allspark,
the
who actually has power armor on, the rest of the party's wearing more normal clothes, and because you guys don't have to worry about the jetpacks anymore, there's nothing actually stopping you guys from putting them on, because you guys are wearing normal clothes. There may be possible
okay,
containment
cool,
for look, but not.
cool. I'm going to unwrap the chain from the gauntlet, take the gauntlet off, put the hazmat suit on, then put the gauntlet on over the hazmat suit and wrap the chain around it. That way I still have access to that. If you will allow it.
There's going to be a slight penalty, but yes.
Okay, cool.
is there any other radioactive material that I could use to put on me? Like I make like a poncho that could fit over top of my suit.
Nothing because of how the suits are designed. There's nothing that's going to be sealable to put on.
No,
Because
okay.
the only real piece that would technically have any form of fitting would be the helmet, but nothing else will be able to fit, which means it's not a perfect seal. And as you move, because again you're in power armor, not normal clothes, there's chance of ripping and tearing, further breaching and compromising the suit.
Okay.
So your greatest asset right now is currently the only role thing that's jeopardizing what you're trying to do.
Is there it's difficult to me? Is there any showers to wash off the radioactive stuff off?
Because of where the
It's
radio stuff is, the showers are useless. Because you would be leaving
Okay.
radioactive area, showering off, and then re-entering radioactive area.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But you guys are able to move deeper in. And after about like 20 seconds of you guys moving deeper in, you can spot one of the green glowing ants that does briefly stop and stare at you guys before it moves back along. And as you guys are able to get deeper in, you can get to the main chamber. And you can see that there is a collection of ants here. And despite where you're at, the Geiger counter is registering low amounts of radiation. Do you guys get into a better spot to observe the ants from the
Yes.
main chamber control room? I heard one yes, so I'm going to assume it's the party.
Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
guys can look down, because the doors are either perfectly operational or looks like they've been removed, which you can see several not alive people. And as you can see the ants, You can tell that the ants are actually look like they're absorbing the radiation from the plant. And can Techno please roll me a d20 with a plus 15 because this is an engineering check and you have expertise engineering. You are both soiling your pants while at the same time really happy right now because from it looks like everything, the plant looks like it's in the process of a meltdown.
Well, that's not good.
Because the ants are absorbing all the radiation the plant is trying to emit, therefore pretty much canceling out the meltdown. Which means removing the ants will cause the facility to actually go into real meltdown, which could possibly put a huge crater in. So the ants are actually being extremely beneficial, on top of the fact they're not being hostile at all. Despite the fact you can see the queen, see eggs, see larvae.
If I can roll a check to see what kind of ant they are, that they're not being aggressive.
Roll me a science check.
It's a 20, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I can technically have you use that and with some other modifiers. Based on the research you previously did for your own ant, you can see mixed traits from different ant species. Leaf cutter ants, because the jaws, the size and general shape of the abdomen does look like honeypot, but some of the more armored plating stuff is reminiscent of bulldog, which is a highly aggressive species of ant, but they're still not being very aggressive. And you can tell that they probably aren't very aggressive because I'll give you a guess what their food source is.
Radiation.
So the ants that managed to get here rapidly adapted to rely on the radiation of the plant. But you are pretty sure that with some tech repair checks, you can still have the plant emit enough radiation to make the ants happy, while if you roll high enough, which you possibly can make this, being able to have the plant actually be able to emit power to any place that still has it. With a tiny % chance you accidentally safely turn everything off, which will eventually lead to...
Okay, can I?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, can I aid him?
With a tech check, yes, you do have a plus 13 tech,
Yeah.
so you could aid him. But I said there's a chance that you end up shutting the entire plant down. Don't roll yet, All Strike. There's a full information before anyone rolls. Like I said, there's a small chance that you end up shutting everything down, which will reverse the meltdown because it's technically because the ants you can safely end up doing that. But that will most likely lead to the expiration of the ants because again they're relying it as their source of food, which could drive the ants crazy and become hostile as they frantically try to figure out what they're going to do for food. But if you succeed, you're able to have something that's technically going to be at the plant that, as long as no one messes with the ants or the plant, you'll have a working power source, and be able to sleep at night knowing that you stopped the plant from blowing up.
Right.
So if you want to do it, you can. And
Yes.
you do have a plus 20. But before you roll, if All Strike wants to give you an 8, he does have his 13, which, depending on what he rolls, which he has a very good chance, he's going to be able to give you additional bonuses to that.
29.
Okay, you're rolling with a 25 instead of a 20, Almighty Techno. After about 20 minutes of working, a lot of the warnings and stuff go away. The plant is no longer on meltdown, but it's still emitting just enough radiation to keep the ants happy and sated. One of the things you can notice, and it's somewhat concerning, that some of the coolant pipes that for coolant systems that you can see there seems to be infested with those tentacles, and they're leaching a lot of the heat off of the plant. So instead of having coolant
those were.
water, those weird tentacles are technically acting in their place. Which means if that creature is defeated and removed, there's no coolant for the power plant. Which,
That creature alone.
yeah. And currently, that creature appears to not be trying to sap you of your heat.
Okay.
And after another moment passes, a lot of lights to come on, indicating that other parts of the facility are now properly working, even though heat will still be a problem, because, well, that weird tentacle monster seems to be zapping all the heat. But you guys somewhat feel safe that after a while, because the amount of radiation being produced is now minimized, you predict after a couple of days, it will be safe to walk around here without the suits because the ants will be consumed the ambient radiation in the area.
Okay. Now the ants and the plant-like creature, they're not having a problem with each other or anything like that.
From what you can currently see, they are not in conflict with one another. Even though when
Okay.
the pipe burst and you guys were dealing with the initial tentacles, an ant did appear and seemed to very easily remove part of the tentacle and did pick up that piece that it snipped off and walked off with it while it was chewing on it, indicating that the ants may be keeping the creature in check.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing. Well, we got the plant safe currently. Um, do you want to come back later when the radiation is lower to see if you can get some um, personnel to help you with the plant techno or um,
I have no interest in returning here ever again. It's up, it's running, it's fine, let's leave.
You only have to worry about it if
okay.
something goes wrong.
Okay.
And then,
So, all right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go on then.
When you
What can
get
I do to get rid of
the what?
Go ahead. That's what I was going to ask. Is there anything I can do to get rid of the radiation that have been?
Other than find the proper pills, which may or may not be at the hospital, because there are pills that are supposed to
Well,
help with radiation.
all right. Well, there may be some here in this infirmary that they have.
Do you run around the facility looking for it?
Yes, I do.
You have a +5 to your perception for looking. Is there anyone else that wishes to aid him and/or do their own check for the facilities?
I'll
Uh,
I'll I think I have a +9
you have a 9. Well, like I said,
or
you can either do a search yourself or aid him.
um I'll do my search myself.
That's that's good. Okay.
um, you put one too many
It got
marks there, All Strike.
yeah, I noticed.
Um, Techno, do you fix your jetpack so it works as a jetpack again? You have a +20 to that die roll.
I got a 22.
As Shuro's staring at you like an ass because you technically broke his.
I,
Okay.
I keep my backpack. I mean my jetpack, just in case he can fix it.
Well, once you guys get back to the base, he can fix it. Uh, but you're able to fix your jetpack. And after a while, the two looking for the infirmary can find the infirmary with several frozen people in it. And it does look like they were in the process of trying to do something with some of the medical stuff here.
Okay. I get whatever medical stuff that I can use for radiation treatment, but also any other equipment that we might need back at the base.
I just start
You have a
pocketing
D20 with a
anything that looks
+5.
like
Do what?
You have a D20 with a +5, so that way you can identify the proper equipment.
Okay.
I just start pocketing anything that looks like medication.
I rolled a 15.
Way to kill somebody.
You believe you got the correct stuff.
I am not consuming any of the medication. I am just taking it.
Well, yeah, I know you're pocketing it, but he did a expertise medicine, which he currently has nothing in but his raw intelligence. So he believes he grabbed the correct stuff.
I know I'm not smart enough to know what medication I would need for radiation exposure, so I am just taking anything and everything that looks like medication, and then when we get back to base, I will just show it to Techno and be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to take. Help.
Uh,
The, since Techno can identify it, can he give me the tell him I need the? Do you know which pills these are? What I need to take for the radiation poison?
he has a higher, not just because he has a higher intellect, but because of science shenanigans. He has a better chance of being able to identify the correct pills.
Okay.
So if Techno wants to verify if the party has the correct medicine or not, he needs to roll with a +10. I am so happy that technically the DC is lower for you because you actually know what the proper medicine is. You're able to sift through the medicine he grabbed, and you're able to, oh, yay, the rest of that medicine has nothing to do with radiation. That's like headache and pain and stuff. There's this mostly empty bottle, though.
And what's in that
There's only
bottle?
one dose left.
There is actually only one dose left.
Shit.
To the hospital.
Yeah, that would be the next place to go.
Do you guys leave and rush to the
Uh,
hospital?
Don't worry about me. I can recover.
Do you guys rush to
That's
the
how
hospital?
radiation poisoning works. Sure.
Says, thank God two of you still have flight capabilities, so you can grab the other two and fly.
Yep.
You guys can easily get into the hospital. And I need all of you to make your perceptions checks to see if you can find the right ones, because thank God someone knows what iodine pills are.
So I roll a what? 5? That was a
You have
plus
a
5?
5 to your perception to find it. Shuro and Vigil both have a 9, while Techno has a 10.
No, I rolled a 13.
24.
Because it doesn't
I
want
have a
to do
what?
stuff correct.
Well, he
Looks
didn't
like
put the 10
Osprey's
on his, did he?
trying to put in improper stuff. Shuro and Vigil have 9s. God bloody hell, Vigil. Well, not Vigil. Shuro. Off of your guys' current, with the exception of Vigil's +9, you guys are able to actually find enough pills, conveniently just enough pills to treat all of you for the radiation. But something is able to occur to both Techno and Shuro that as you guys were looking and stuff. You know how there was a convenient intersection of hallways that had a lot of zombies in them that you guys defeated?
The bodies aren't there, are they?
They're not there.
I make sure my radar is currently off because if the bees are around,
Or
they
you're
would be
closer to
attracted to it otherwise.
the ants that spew liquid nitrogen than you are the ants that have been attacking you for having it on. But still, same difference.
Okay.
Like I said, you guys found enough medicine for yourselves, and two of you can obviously put out like this hallway is supposed to have dead people in it, like a lot of dead people. There isn't any. What do you guys do?
Corner.
Can you repeat that? You broke out. Part of it broke out.
Scream and cry in a corner.
Well, the rest of you can hear him screaming and crying in a corner.
Why are you screaming and crying in the corner?
They're not dead.
What?
They're not dead.
Who's not dead?
The fucking zombies. We killed them. and they're not here, so they're not dead, or something ate them, and I don't like either option.
That's a good point. Uh, well, do we want to go checking around to see what could be
Fuck
eating them, or
no,
just
we
get the
need to
hell
get
out of
the
here?
fuck out of here. I ain't dealing with this
Okay.
shit today.
You guys go back to base
Okay.
and start
Yeah,
preparing your first regiment of pills.
yeah, and I also I try to repair the my armor and that wash it off, make sure that it doesn't have any radiation on it, things like that.
Um, well, it's gonna take some time for the pills to work their magic. Not in a few hours, but actually in days, to make sure everything's out of your guys' system. Within that time, you guys are able to easily fix Shiro's jetpack, repair the Allstrike's armor. Um, Also, Allstrike's able to fully recover from the fact that that cold effect does have a slight duration on it before you start recovering. So after about a week, you guys feel actually well enough to go back to doing adventuring. And within that week, Captain Sewer is able to verify that enough of the power grid was working for particular areas to have power, and that some of the still working holdouts are actually happy that they're able to actually have working, well, power for the most part. It's intermittent and not the best at the moment, but it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
Uh,
During that week's time frame, I find an empty steel barrel and burn everything that I was wearing, minus the gauntlet and the chains. I'll get with Techno on trying to sterilize all of that to get the radiation off, and grab the my spare shit out of my bike,
yeah.
which is the exact that I had on. Because
So you guys can take care of that. Also, over that time, several of the side heroes are able to report that they're slowly working on a few things to help a few people. So the hero Thief, excuse me, is hiding. Has pretty much turned a power junction station into his new little hideout, so that way he can maintain power to part of the city and still have somewhere safe to work. The side hero Alice that you guys haven't had a chance to meet because that's the baker, has safely integrated with the people at the apartment towers and is helping them out. The hero that side hero goes by Pro Archer has reported uh, that from his viewpoint of the park where the giant ant nest is, that the giant ants from the main colony haven't showed any signs of movement yet, but he has reported that from the hotel that the vampires were in, he has seen at least two wasp-like creatures come and go from that location at really fast speeds, but only either in the early morning or at night. The side hero Daredevil, not as Daredevil as in I wear a red suit Daredevil, but as he's the shadow hero. Uh, has reported that there is a few people He's trying to figure out how to help get across the water to back into Gotham because they want to come back in. So he's helping them. And Captain Sewers has report that he has had a transmission that there is a hero that will eventually be making its way into the area to try to help people. But that hero is going to need help properly integrating because it's not human. It's an alien.
Okay.
But he can state that that hero will be great assets to everything because it's a healing hero.
Oh, okay.
So the side heroes fully report that everything is actually improving. But the only really
Good.
negative thing that can be reported on is the new wasp-like creature. But it's not being reported as eating people or attacking people. But it is. They two have decided to have, like I said, either been seen coming and going from that hotel either in the early morning or late at night. So that could or could not become a problem. And within that week, there's been a development with everyone's favorite group pet, Honey. It is no longer 3 feet long. Honey's length, now that you actually have time to actually properly observe and measure it, you were also able to collect some of the exoskeleton. Honey is now approximately 10 feet in length.
That is a big ant.
Yeah. And the tail has better the end of the tail has better adapted to, instead of the stinger just being constantly out, it's able to retract, and it almost has a 4-pronged hook-like appendage that the needle comes out of so that it can grab and then inject things. But the party has been able to have a high increase of fish.
Of what?
Honey's doing a lot of fishing for us.
And a dolphin.
Oh.
He ate a dolphin?
A thing
Say he
you
killed a dolphin?
that the dolphin has more pronounced teeth, and the trout are about 4 to 5 feet in length.
Oh, that's a big trout. Where are you catching these things at?
It's Honey.
Honey.
Oh,
Who's turned
honey's
out
catch.
to become a highly successful ambush predator.
Mm. Have we figured out what? During this time, I would like to see if I can figure out what frequency is bothering the ants where they come because they, come and
It's
find me and
the ant's antenna, you believe, is sensitive enough to pick up on radar.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But there are radar can have frequencies varied, and if need be.
The exact frequency would require you to see what properly works or not. Would to go to where the ants that were triggered by it are, hope that they're still alive, and test different frequencies to see if they react to it.
Okay.
The only concern about that area is the wasp-like bugs that are occasionally seen coming in and out of the building that the vampires were in. Meaning that's a possible offshoot of that colony. So any testing you would do would trigger a fast-moving, airbound wasp-like creature. And if anyone knows anything about wasps, they're known for being highly aggressive simply by noticing you.
Yeah.
And you didn't like being chased by the ants when they were just fast-flying ants, not a more airborne predator.
Yeah.
So you can go test it
Well,
at your own risk. Or you can just wait until a more opportune thing appears to better do the testing, because the only actual ant you can know you have a lot of access to is honey, and it's currently friendly to the party. And the only concern there is its jaws are powerful enough to rip through steel and stone.
mm,
Which means if you trigger
yeah.
there's no barriers you can put between you and it that's going to stop it.
Well, I'm not going to mess with that. The testing of that right now. I'll just have to remember use my radar at a higher height than where somebody can grab me right off the bat, and make sure I turn it off when I'm ready to come back to the base.
At this
Uh,
note, we have reached the end of the episode. You guys have actually successfully determined that the zombies are either up and shuffling about the city somewhere, or something did something with the bodies. You got the power plant in a working state, and that there's two creatures there that are living off of it. And that you have a very, very big, friendly ant that really likes feeding you guys food it brings in. So we will safely end the episode here. For all those who watched and who watch this, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.